Hello and welcome to the Chaos to Clarity podcast. My name is Maggie, aka your business bestie. I teach female coaches, speakers, and course creators to release procrastination and perfection so that they can get more done, book more clients, and have the time freedom that all entrepreneurs crave. This is not your typical business coaching podcast. We're talking about business, life, probably some wooey magic, and probably some singing or referencing song lyrics along the way. So if you're into business building, making more money, and getting a little bit of a mindset shift along with having a good laugh, you're definitely in the right place. I've grown 3 businesses from $0 to consistent 4 and 5 figure months over the last 15 plus years. And now I'm helping you do the same thing. It didn't happen overnight, and it certainly didn't happen without the help of others. They say it takes a village to raise children, and I believe it takes a village to grow a business as well. So in this podcast, you'll find people who help you grow your village, cheer you on, as well as holding you accountable. I'm so excited you're here, and I can't wait for you to listen to each episode. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone. My name is Maggie. This is the Chaos to Clarity podcast. I am so excited today. I have Penny from the Phoenix Alliance Virtual, it's a concierge business support company, and I am going to let her give you her best introduction right now. So Penny, take it away.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Penny Phoenix. I am the Chief Heart Officer of Phoenix Alliance Virtual. Like she said, we are a concierge business support company. And what that means is you get to brain dump all the things that you don't want to do, whether it's editing podcasts like these or scheduling your content or editing your videos, building your website, setting up your automations. We literally have experts for everything. And you just get to brain dump all of that to one person, to one project manager. And they turn around and they're going to go to our team of outsource agents. And they're going to build the right team for you, train everybody on the things they need to be trained on, manage the entire project, and then QA everything before it gets turned back over to you. It's the business support agency that actually allows you to take things off your mental plate. So it's one of the things that I am super, super, super excited about. And the cool thing is, the secret about it is, I didn't build it for you. I built it for the outsource agents. I decided that I wanted to create a business that had a different structure that would actually support people in being able to become entrepreneurs. And so what we've done is we've created a system where people are able to start their own businesses. We've created a way for people to go out and learn different things, and then they come and work for us, and we are doing all the sales and all the marketing because we're the ones talking to you guys. And then we have the project managers that are helping these people figure out what they need to do, helping them manage the projects, helping them get their feet under them and get experience. We have a team of experts that's available for them to talk to. And so people are able to actually come in. It's like the DoorDash of virtual work, and start getting that confidence and start building those skills so they can go on to then create their own businesses and become the entrepreneurs that turn around and hire us again. And I'm really excited about it because I really think this is an idea that's going to change the world. So hello.
That is so amazing. I am so honored to have you on. And just, I love when people can take an idea and just kind of flip it on its head and turn it into something that's just 10 times better, right? Like, how amazing that you've been able to grow something that really enables others to grow their own business at the same time. I think that's so, so important. So my first question for you is, what is something challenging that you have overcome in your business? So it can be anything, just anything that comes to mind, right? Like a pivot, it could be something small, it could be something huge. What would that be for you?
So this is perfect for your podcast since you are the chaos to creative.
Chaos to clarity. Yeah, chaos to clarity.
I am chaos personified, and that has probably been my biggest hurdle. I got diagnosed with ADHD about 6 months after I started my business. and figuring out a way for me to engage in business that felt ethical, that felt exciting, and a way that allowed me to be who I was without demanding that I be consistent was really, really difficult. Most business advice out there is for people who are great at consistency, whether they have high energy or low energy. What seems to matter to everybody is, are you focused on your goals? Here's all the details. Are you consistent? And as somebody with ADHD, I am none of these things at all. I don't care about goals. I don't care about details. And I am super inconsistent. And so figuring out a way to build a business that made sense for my brain was really, really important to me. And as soon as I started diving into that, I started realizing there are a lot of people out here that have very similar brains, that have very similar needs, that for whatever reason, they're marginalized inside of corporate and standard entrepreneur structures. And so not only was I working to create a structure that worked for myself, but I wanted to create a structure that provided that space for other people. One of the big values for me inside of Phoenix Alliance and inside of my business is community care and making sure that we're bringing up other people alongside us. I'm not, if you're coming to look for somebody who's going to make you 10K months or a 7-figure year, I'm not that person. I'm not your girl. If you are somebody, as an outsource agent who's like, yikes, how am I going to pay rent? I am your girl. Come work with me and we'll make sure that you are okay, so that you can start exploring from a place where your nervous system feels safety instead of trying to reach these big giant goals everybody tells you you're supposed to want without having the foundation in there first.
That's so amazing. And I love just how much clarity you provided in that, right? Like moving through that. And I am not diagnosed with ADHD, but I do, I definitely recognize some of those tendencies within myself, right? And they became especially apparent after I had children. And I would find myself thinking like, is it mom brain or is it ADHD? And why can't I complete anything? And how come one day I am on fire and like I rip through a month's worth of work, and then the next day I'm exhausted, right? Like, and learning to like ebb and flow with that is something that I really leaned into. And that's why my podcast is called Chaos to Clarity. That's also why my coaching program is called Chaos to Clarity, right? Starting to go through some of that muck that you're experiencing in your business. And I work with primarily women, right? Because I feel like as women, we're expected to do a lot, and not, like there's a lot of things that I do and I don't even think twice about them, right? Like doing things where it's like, I'm doing 10 things at once. And my husband is sitting looking at me like, how? Or
they don't even see it.
Right.
Like I got diagnosed because when I met my wife, she came into, I was a single mom and I had a child who was also very clearly ADHD. And she came into our lives and she lived with us for about 1 month before she was like, babe, guess what? And it wasn't until somebody else like pointed out like the sort of chaotic ways that we were existing, because as a single mom with an ADHD kid, like we just lived in chaos and it was fine. It worked for us. It was when we threw in someone who was a little more neurotypical that it was like, oh, we're a little different. But it wasn't until he got diagnosed that she really started hammering on me and being like, do you notice that you're the same here? Do you notice that you're the same here? Do you notice? And it was finally like, oh, but there's this social construct idea that we just have to be consistent. Like it's all about habit building right now. You and I are having this conversation in January. I think I saw at least 4 goal setting offers this morning about ways that you can plan out your entire year. Listen, January Penny has no idea what December Penny is going to do. Like that's December Penny's problem. January Penny has to figure out what's happening in January. Right. And that's as far as I can go. And being able to like unlock the shame from that and not hold myself to a standard that simply doesn't work for my brain
Mm-hmm.
was one of the hardest things, but it was also one of the most freeing things, because now somebody will come to me and be like, I need to build this freebie and I know I should be doing it and I'm just not avoiding it and I don't know how to do it. And 2 years ago, I would have been like, okay, well, here's all the strategies of how we can make this happen. And now my first question is, well, do you actually want to? Why?
Mm-hmm.
If you hate doing it that much, why? And that question is so freeing, because I always see on their face, they just kind of go, oh, I don't have to do that. Oh, I can let that piece go. And it applies to almost everything that we think that we should be doing. Whatever ways in your life that you're operating that don't feel good, or that feel that you keep avoiding, that's a little signal for you, like, hey, I don't work this way. This doesn't feel good for me. Figure out something new, something different, something else. Outsource this, ask for help, and do something different. And that's one of the things that, like, really I'm trying to infuse Phoenix Alliance with, because there's this expectation, especially of moms, that we do, be, and are everything. You have to be on top of your kids. You have to be on top of their doctor's appointments. You have to be on top of taking them to swim lessons. You have to be on top of your business, which then means you're the sales and the marketing and the posting consistently and making sure that you're taking care of we have to do and be everything. And if we aren't, then we're failing somehow. And that is a very colonialized view of what people are supposed to do. When we step back and say, actually, I'm just really good at this one piece, and I'm going to partner with my friend who is just really good at this piece, and this other person is going to come in and do just this piece, suddenly we all have the bandwidth to do all the things and get everything done, because we're no longer spending hours trying to be something we're not.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I can write a piece of copy, a sales page for somebody in 30 minutes. I will cry in front of a website for days. But somebody else can build that website in 30 minutes and will stare at the sales page copy and in tears for hours. And so instead of us both wasting all of that time trying to do it all of ourselves, we're able to get everything done in an hour because we're swapping. And that's the entire basis of Phoenix Alliance, is actually creating a community that you can tap into to get the experts that are good at the things that you need, so that you get your shit done and you get to live in that space that just lights you up. Everybody talks about, like, being in your zone of genius, and, like, yes, you need to do the things that you're good at. But for me, it's about being able to stay in that space where you're excited about your business, where you're excited about your life, where you're excited to, like, do all these cool and interesting and new things. And we are so much more generous. We are so much more caring. We are so much more able to build community with each other when we're in that space. And it's sort of the chicken and the egg. Like, you need the community to be supporting you to do that in order to be able to help build the community that's supporting you to do that. Right. And that's the purpose of Phoenix Alliance, is really to start bringing that cycle in and allowing more and more people on both sides, from the client side and the outsource agent side, to really sit in that space that feels good, so they can go out and crush it in other spaces.
That I have chills, and I'm like, this is so exciting, because it's so true, right? Like, when you think about all the things, and, like, to me, I think about, like, oh, folding laundry. Oh, I do not want it, right? Like, can you come and fold my laundry? But that's so true, what you were saying about, like, we have to, as women, we have to do everything. And they say, after I had kids, everyone was like, it takes a village to raise a kid. And yes, 100% it does. But it also takes a village to run a successful business. It also takes a village to build a successful business, right? And now that everything is online, like, everything has exploded, like, I don't know, 1,000,000-fold. But before I was a coach, I owned a photography business, as well as a yoga studio. So 2 brick and mortar, right? Like, stepping from brick and mortar, getting clients for a brick and mortar into a digital like client space has been like, it is mind blowing to me.
Very different.
It's so different. And so many people, so many like other coaches that I have worked with are like, it's so easy. It's so easy. And I'm like, but is it? But is it? And the more I get into the coaching space, the more I'm starting to find my own voice and starting to connect with people who I'm like, okay, you understand what I'm talking about. And like, although I'm not diagnosed with ADHD, I still see those qualities in me that I'm like, okay, I have to approach this a different way. And chaos to clarity just kept coming back. And the more I connect with people similar to you who have these amazing businesses who are like, okay, I'm a hub for these things. You can get these things from me and I'm connecting with other people, right? Like, so starting to build those connections is just so amazing, and such a valuable resource for everyone. So I think that's really like, it's just so cool for us to connect and to be able to share that, like, okay, this is what you need. I've got all kinds of things, right? Like, you're sitting crying trying to build a website. No, please come here. I've got you. Like, what do you love to do? Okay, you go do that, and I'm going to do this for you, and we're going to meet back in the middle. Like, how empowering is that for so many people?
Well, and the thing that specifically to that point, one of the things that I personally identify as is an anti-capitalist entrepreneur. And what that means to me is that I am not building a business to become a millionaire. I am not building a business to become part of the elite. I am not building a business to become rich. I am building a business to empower as many people as I can to take care of their basic necessities.
Mm-hmm.
And when you step into the online entrepreneurship space, there are a lot of people who are like, oh, you don't enjoy, building your website? I can do that for you for $5,000 or $10,000 or this much, and there's all of these people that are offering all of these amazing things for a lot of money. And there's like monthly recurring revenue that you have to pay out. And like, you can very easily trip your business up and kill yourself basically by overloading yourself with trying to pay for all the things that you need help with. Money is not the only resource that you have to trade with inside of your community.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes you would be surprised by how much you can get just by seeing, hearing, and understanding people. I have so many people who are excited to volunteer inside of Phoenix Alliance. And I have in another project brought on $500,000 worth of work with paying zero money out because of the relationships that I've built, and because I have always started with, how do I help you first? Mm-hmm. I have given away hours of my time, hours of strategy. I will help people build websites, even though I hate it. I have helped people write content. I have helped, and the second somebody calls me, I'm in and I'm ready. And when you come at it from that community mindset, you start finding other people who have that same mindset. There are absolutely people out there who will only do, you have to pay me, you can't trade, or we can't, do back and forth kind of things. But I really believe that in the future, we are heading towards a community and towards a society that moves beyond and recognizes value beyond money. Mm-hmm. And that's one of my favorite things whenever I talk to somebody about like pricing. Numbers are made up. We created that, and money isn't real.
Yep.
So if your price is already based in something that is not real, therefore you can't possibly find the number to express your value. It's finding the number that makes sense so that you feel excited to do the work, and so that the other person feels like they're excited to pay you. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things inside of Phoenix Alliance. When I started thinking about how I was going to do this, most agencies are outsourcing their work to the Philippines for $2 to $3 an hour,
Right.
which I think is absolutely disgusting. It really pisses me off that a lot of these millionaire coaches are like, oh yeah, it's so easy. You just buy a VA and they do everything for you for $2 an hour, and then you take all the profit.
Right.
Phoenix Alliance is actually what I am calling a zero profit business. We're not a nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a zero profit. We operate for profit.
Okay.
But the outsource agents, the way that we quote everything, we quote by task, not by hour. But we're
Okay.
doing it to make sure that the outsource agents are making on average $30 an hour, and the project managers are making on average $30 an hour. And I, as the owner, on average, am making $30 an hour. And everything above and beyond that goes back into the business to be reinvested into community safety nets. It'll be reinvested into healthcare. If we explode to the place I plan to explode to, it'll be invested in community centers and real estate, and it'll be reinvested into the people who are doing the work and providing them with benefits in order to be able to better their own communities, because charity doesn't work. Jeff Bezos doesn't know how to give his money away. He doesn't know what to do with it because he's not on the ground floor, and he doesn't know how to help people. And the reality is, if he just actually raised the pay of every single worker and gave them their portion of the product that they are creating, the profit that they are creating, our economy would explode.
Oh yeah.
We wouldn't deal with homelessness anymore. We wouldn't deal with food scarcity. A lot of these problems would be solved because it's the people on the ground who have the problem who know how to solve it 99% of the time.
Absolutely.
And so with Phoenix Alliance, my goal is to create a company that operates in that way, that instead of amassing wealth at the top, it is consistently redistributed to the people who are creating that profit in the first place.
Yeah, that is amazing. So in the photography community, probably like 8 years ago, the phrase community over competition exploded because there were a lot of photographers who were like, oh no, I don't want to, no, I'm not gonna be nice to my neighbor, right? Like, but then a bunch of people were like, no, actually, why? I can't take everyone's photos. I can take anyone's photos, but I can't take everyone's photos. So if it's a better suit for Jane down the street, I'm going to send you that referral. No charge, just because I want to. And as the more you talk about this, the more I'm like, community over competition just keeps showing up. And I love that so much, right? Like knowing that you are able to distribute the wealth and reinvest into your company is so, so amazing. And like, I also see that moving into the future. Like I'm always amazed at how many high ticket sales there are where it's like, yes, $5,000 to build a website. And I'm like, ooh, or I could spend 10 hours of my time doing it. And similar to you, like I'll muddle through and I'll probably cry a little bit, but I'll get there on my own. And, where, having an alliance, like what you've built is such an amazing option and opportunity really for especially people who are just starting their journey as an entrepreneur, or maybe they've pivoted or whatever that scenario is. And you're stepping into this and you're like, okay, I've got this amazing idea and now I need some help and everyone's too expensive for me to get help. So I'm going to rely on a whole bunch of freebies and hope for the best, right? But instead to be able to come to this community where you're like, nope, we got your back. Come here. Like, what do you
get
need?
Started with a task with us for less than $100.
That's amazing.
And we do it by task specifically so that your team is always exactly the size that you need it to be. There's no startup fee, there's no management fee, there's no monthly recurring fee, there's no long-term contracts. You tell us what you need to do. We tell you what the price of that is, and then you pay that price, and that's the only price that you pay. So you don't have to go out and vet people. We're doing that. We're making sure they know what they're doing. We're giving them access to experts. So when they run into something that they don't understand, they have someone in their back pocket who is able to come in and be like, oh, I can help you with this. We have a project manager who is making sure that they're taken care of, and that the project is continuing, and that everything is high quality and good enough for the client. And you're able to grow and shrink your team at will without having to spend hours vetting somebody. Like, try to go post in any group that you need a VA, and you now have 200 comments that you have to go filter through. And good luck figuring out if they're, if they're actually the one who's doing the work, if they're paying anybody behind them ethically, if they are actually good at what they say they can do. Like, a lot of people are really great at sales and marketing and beautiful websites, and that's about it. And so at Phoenix Alliance, you skip all of that because we do all of that work for you by finding the experts and giving them the work. And so they don't have to be good at the sales and marketing piece. They just have to be good at whatever it is that they do. And then when the project is over, there's no awkward conversation of like, I don't have anything for you this month. Like, we're kind of out of it. Sorry, I'll hit you up when I need you. We have that expectation built in. We're going to do this project, and then we're going to be done, and we'll move on to the next one. And then you can just keep coming back whenever you need us. And we always have the right person. A lot of problems that I saw with the virtual assistant sphere as well was that everybody was asking virtual assistants to be everything. So I need you to be a social media manager. I need you to be a podcast editor. I need you to do this and this and this. And the reality is they're only going to be good at some things. That's just how humans work. We are great at some things, we are good at some things, and we are bad at some things. And by tapping into our network, if you have 5 tasks with 5 different competencies, we're able to pull in somebody that is an expert at each of those competencies. So instead of you having to ask your one person who you adore and love working with to suddenly become a video editing expert or a podcast editing expert, you're able to pull in that podcast editing expert. And this person who is good at this is able to serve more clients in that zone. So everybody's sitting in their zones of genius at all times.
That's so cool. I love that so much. And I cannot wait to watch this grow. And, as, from that ADHD, like neurodivergent, like sphere, like what a cool place for people to be like, yeah, I'm really good at this one thing, and this one thing is what I like to do. I want to make a business out of it. For you to be like, great, come on in. I've got a ton of people looking for that thing. We're going to get you some projects, and we're going to get you on your feet. And I think, as entrepreneurs, especially when you start out, you are like, I just want one sale. I just want one
sale. I can't tell you how many times I have heard the phrase, I just want the clients. I just want to do the work. I don't want to do the sales and marketing. I just want to do the work. Great. Come work for us. I'm the sales and marketing person. That's what I love doing. I love connecting with people. And I am absolutely horrible with the follow through of the projects. I am not a project manager in my own business. I very quickly handed that off to people who are amazing at it. And I am able to sit in that zone of genius. That is my zone of genius, is this connection piece. And to that point about being neurodivergent, our people behind us are so far entirely in some way marginalized. They're women, they're single moms, they're neurodivergent, they're LGBTQ, they're BIPOC, they're disabled. There's something about them that makes a standard job in like the corporate world not super functional. And those people are often told, like, well, just go start your own business. If you still have to be everything, that's still not actually an accommodation for whatever it is that you're struggling with in order to do your stuff. But by working with Phoenix Alliance, you're able to accommodate all of those needs. If you need to work from midnight to 5 a.m. because you have a kid and you have to do their stuff, great. We don't care when you do your work. Come in, do it, just get it done by the deadline. And our project managers are always checking in to see what you need help with. Not to micromanage, be like, where's this project? But to come in and be like, hey, how's it going? What's going on with you? And like the other thing that happens inside of entrepreneur circles, and I notice this because I am a straight passing white woman in these spaces, and I'm queer. I have a wife, and I'm also neurodivergent. And so the algorithms are by and large written by white men who have the top tiers of privilege. And so these algorithms are naturally designed through subconscious bias to not promote queer voices, to not promote BIPOC voices, to not promote disabled voices. And so all of these strategies that everybody gives you, oh, just go live, oh, just do this, oh, just post this much. A Black person and a white person can post the exact same content, and the white person will get more views by almost 2.5 times. And they've proved this. And so by pulling everybody under the umbrella of Phoenix Alliance, where we're able to make the marketing something that is ethical, so everybody that we have worked with so far wants to hire a company that outsources to people, that helps people. They want to put their money where their values are. And it's hard to find that out there. It's hard to find somebody that like really is embodying that and really is living that. And with Phoenix Alliance, we're able to explode inside of the marketing and sales thing because everybody wants this. And that protects everybody behind us that may not have the same privilege that we do up here at the front to be able to find these clients, to be able to connect with these people and be able to get this work. And so we're passing that privilege on and spreading it through the community to, again, empower everybody to thrive in their community and in their lives.
Yeah. And when you are thriving, that just makes everything else so much easier. Right? The hard things don't feel so hard because you're like, oh, you know what? I've done my work for the day, whether that's CEO, project management, tasks, whatever that is, right? I feel fulfilled. I can now go home. I can now do other things that like, I don't really like folding the laundry, but you know what? I've had a great day. I can do this, right? And just like so much empowerment for the people that you employ or that that you have working under you. The business owners feel good. Everybody feels good. And I think that's just it's just such a beautiful space, right? And to be able to tap into something where you are pulling in those marginalized groups, right? Like to be like, okay, I'm going to give you all a bear hug and we're all going to do this together. And we're all going to be like, I'm going to check in on you because I care about you, not because I want to know that this, and this are done, right?
Not because I'm watching the profit margins and making sure that we're making enough money,
right?
But because I want to make sure that everybody that comes into the Phoenix Alliance community feels seen, heard, respected, and appreciated. That is the number one thing that I've been training all of the project managers on. That's who I hire for project managers, are people who see people first. It's not about profits here. We don't care about profits here. We care about taking care of the outsource agents and taking care of the clients and helping everyone to thrive. And that's it.
Yeah. I love it. I'm so excited. You are actually my first interview and I'm like just thinking to myself, like, what better? Like, oh man, this is so exciting to like have you be the first interview. And like, I'm just, oh my gosh, just so excited. I'm also so excited to support you, right? Like outside of this, now that we've connected, like to watch you grow, to be part of what you're doing. I think that's so amazing. So I have 2 questions left for you. The next one is, what is one piece of advice that you would tell your younger self?
Oh, I mean, how much younger are we talking here? Am I like going all the way back to my teen years? Because if I'm going back to my teen years, it's gay. But if we're just scrolling back in my career, it would honestly just reinforcing the idea that you're not crazy for doing things differently. The world needs you to do things in the way that you're doing them. And, don't let other people tell you whatever shoulds end up in your life, whether somebody else is telling you what you should do or that becomes your own subconscious voice. Should is a trigger word to identify something that wasn't made for you, that wasn't aligned for you, that isn't working for you. If it's a should, there's a reason it's not happening. And you can, explore if there's a certain goal that you want to get to, you can explore how to do it differently or why to do it differently. But anytime you hear yourself say, I should be, no, you shouldn't. And why shouldn't you? What's the thing that's wrong here?
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's such an amazing piece of advice, right? Like, and I think, even looking back to your younger self to say, I'm gay, like, right? Like that piece of advice that you gave your entrepreneur self can also be applied to your younger self to be like, it's okay to be different. And you know what? Like, let's embrace that. Who cares if you're weird? Like, aren't we all a little weird anyway? And if we can be our true self, we feel so much better, right?
Yeah.
And again, things are easier when we're like, okay, I don't have to put up this masquerade to be different, to fit in. I can be who I want to be, and I'm okay with that. And I'm strong in myself. So, I love that so much. So good. All right. So the last question I have, if you were a kitchen utensil, what would you be and why?
Ooh, that is a really random question.
It totally is.
If I was a kitchen utensil, what would I be and why? I would be, okay. Do you know that brand? I think it's called like Joy, and you can find it at like TJ Maxx, that has like, it makes everything into cute little animals. I would 100% be the little mouse cheese grater.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh, that's so awesome. That's so awesome. Well, thank you so much, Penny. I am so thankful that you were able to hop on with me today. I'm so thankful that you were my first interview. We are just starting this out with a bang. Yes, I'm so excited.
I'm so honored to be your first interview. I didn't know that, and I'm really excited to be episode number 1. Here we go.
So tell everyone how they can connect with you and what is the best way to just get in touch and see what you have to offer for them.
Best way to get in touch, our website is www.phoenixalliance.org. You can book a call with one of our project managers on there. You can also just kind of check out what it is that we do. If you want to connect with me directly, she has my Facebook link in the show notes, and I will eventually add it because I'm a little bit ADHD and forget to add those in. But you can always go there, follow me. I always have random fun content. And yeah, we look forward to working with you.
Wow, what a great interview. Thank you so much for showing up here on the Chaos to Clarity podcast. Again, my name is Maggie. I'm so excited to connect with you. You can find all of the information, all of the links below in the show notes for today's interview. And I hope you have the best day ever.